Hello, and welcome to Who's the GOAT, a podcast where we seek to acquire ultimate wheel knowledge so that we may finally answer Who's the GOAT. I'm Marco, and I'm joined by my co-host James
Yo.
and Arthur.
Hello.
And today we will be reviewing the 1951 season.
Wait, you haven't explained how this podcast works, Marco.
In the way this works is each episode, one of us will research a season and present it to the other two. I am doing the 1951 season. Okay. Before we start, does anyone want some fun facts about 1951 that I found?
I would like some fun facts about 1951. Go ahead, Marco.
You're gonna like this one. The first television beer commercial was brought out on air in 1951.
Ah,
What beer?
Fucking
I'm sorry.
give me a second. Budweiser, Blue Ribbon, a bunch of beers came out with their first commercials. Yeah, and also Switzerland rejected women's votes this year.
hell yeah, very progressive. I'm glad I'm glad we're representing a great cause here.
Do you think Wallo de Grafenried was happy?
I'd say so. Yeah. Of course, he hates women. He's a baron, you know.
It's a baron. Oh yeah, him. Okay, so
Wait,
Let's
sorry, the
get-
second, the final fun fact you had was
the first Asian Games were held in 1951.
Asian games.
What the fuck is that?
Like games where Asians play.
Well,
No,
yeah, but
it's
like,
just
is it
no.
sort of-
Okay.
It's just like the Olympics. It's just the Olympics, but with Asian people.
It's Asian Olympics.
The Asian Olympics. Yeah.
You know how you have World Cup qualifiers for like Africa, Europe, Asia. It's just this. It's just games like sports games, but only played between Asian nations.
Yeah. They had
Japanese-
athletics, basketball, cycling, diving,
Yeah.
football, swimming, water polo, and weightlifting.
Japanese athletes won 24 gold, 21 silver, and 50 bronze medals.
In
Impressive.
1951.
Yeah. So let's get stuck in with this 1951 season. So in my notes here, I've got some reminders. So the Alphas were still the fastest, but as we will see during the course of the season, Ferrari had a trick up their sleeve, and also BRM be also a storyline during this season, and
What does BRM stand for, Marco?
British racing motors.
British Racing, yeah. Thank you, James. And there'll also be some other funny stories and quirky facts that
What a funny story.
that we will see during the course of the season. So, calendar and format: 8 World Championship rounds, including the Indianapolis 500. It did count towards the overall table,
I wonder if anyone will show up.
and many people will show up.
Well, there's a lot of people showing up every year. There's like
And yeah,
80
well,
people trying to qualify for it every year. So
No, I know. I think you both know what I meant. You are being cheeky.
yes. The points for the first 5. So 8 points for first place, 6 for second, 4, 3, 2. A point for fastest lap, and only the driver's best 4 results counted towards the title. So, some pre-season notes to start you off with. Alfa Romeo, they came out with the 159 evolution of the 158. It produced 420, between 420 and 430 horsepower from a 1.5 litre supercharged straight eights, and used D-Dion rear axles in 1951. Now, these rear axles will be important, I think, in the last race of the season, and I will then explain why. This engine had monster power, but abysmal fuel economy. 1.5 to 1.6 miles per gallon, which
Jesus Christ,
is a lot. Yes.
what the fuck?
But that's also what Enzo Ferrari figured out as well. He was like, you can't really make these cars more powerful without huge amount of fuel. So that's why the Ferraris, they dropped
Well,
the
hold on, Arthur. We'll get into this. This will be the story of the season. Efficiency versus power.
I apologize.
I mean, like with that fuel efficiency, you virtually have to pitch for fuel
Yeah.
every lap,
Well,
no?
No,
Surely,
well, not
like-
every lap, no.
Well, unless you have a bathtub. Unless you have a bathtub for a fuel tank, but
Big heavy cars. Now, Ferrari's approach, they had Lampredi normally aspirated 4.5 litre engines. And I did take some screenshots of these. Let's see if I can be quick about this.
I like these sections of the podcast where we share images to each other,
Well,
and the audience can suck shit.
in the post editing, hopefully, the audience can get a taste of what we're seeing.
They can, you know what, the audience can Google this, you know,
They can, yeah.
or we can describe them.
Yeah, fuck you guys. Google
Yeah,
this.
come on. They're very grown ups. They have phones.
Yeah, exactly. If they really care about what's going on, they'll Google it.
So on the left, that is the Lamborghini
Whee!
engine, and on the right, that is the Alfa Romeo 159. Big fuck off engine.
No, it is a big
Right.
fight. So it's an 8-cylinder.
Yes.
The Ferrari we're using.
Yes.
Right, but what happened to the Colombo engine?
I don't. Well, I think they just swapped it out for the Lamborghinis. They were going for a different
Right.
approach. And then there's the
Yeah, no, they
BRM Type 15, a V16 British project, which was finally fielded for the 1951 season. Spectacular sound and lots of troubles.
Why the
And we-
fuck would you need a V16, man? That's just absurd.
Hey man, big.
There is no logic. There is no logic in the world where you need that many V's. You know.
Hey, well, you know,
Like, let's add a couple of
each
these,
team
lads.
had its own approach.
I have to say, this period of cars, while they like the shapes are cool, it's a bit sort of dull how they don't really have liveries. They just have the sort of nation's racing colors. So the Italians have red, the British have racing green, or whatever bullshit they call it, and the French have blue.
I'm gonna improve the Alfa Romeo real quick because you are right, Arthur. We are missing sponsors here. Keep talking, Marco.
All right, these are the most interesting and I think important preseason notes to keep in mind. Now let's get into this with
Where are Talbot Lago?
Talbot Lago. They are not participating, but private drivers are using the chassis of the Talbot Lagos, but they are no longer in the championship. Are you very sad about that, Arthur?
I'm a bit sad that the Works Talbot Lago team is over.
Well, it'll keep living on in the memories of private drives.
In the memories of us, and that's it.
1951 season, Swiss Grand Prix, Bremgarten, Bern. 27th of May, 1951.
Street circuit.
And a dangerous one at that. A fucking dangerous one at that.
It is very dangerous, yes. Right, rain. It was a tricky race, and to no one's surprise, Alpha dominance was still ongoing. Fangio drove superbly in the wet. He took pole and converted it to a routine Alpha win. This was Alpha setting the early tone. The 159's power was terrifying, as everyone expected. Giuseppe Nino Farina tangled with Ascari mid-race. Despite damage to his car, he managed to bring the car home. Gonzalez retired with an oil pump failure, and Louis Chiron in a Maserati finished 7th. Can you guess how old he was?
Louis Chiron, our favorite gigolo.
The horniest driver on the grid.
He must have been like,
Is he 54?
yeah, like late mid-50s or
No,
something.
51.
51.
Damn.
Alberto Ascari raced through pain. He'd suffered burns in a supporting F2 event, yet he still turned up to the race and finished, respectively. So, the winner for this race, Juan Manuel Fangio, who now leads with 9 points. Ferrufi 6, Farina 4.
Follow the graph and read Swiss man, 2 points.
Also, I want to say
The Baron.
this is Taruffi's first podium in F1 as well.
Oh.
After only attending the last year in the Italian Grand Prix, managed to secure a podium on the second.
Was he the guy who got his car taken over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fangio fucked his car.
Spoilers.
No, that was last season.
Oh, there's also another
season.
takeover this season.
Oh, Taruffi's the takeover man.
Indianapolis 500 was its own world. Oval specialists, different cars.
But what I find crazy is that how badly this was scheduled. Like, you'd think if they wanted to include the Indy 500 in the calendar, they'd at least put the Swiss Grand Prix like earlier rather than like 5 days before the Indy 500.
Well, it's only like 8 races.
Was it again 5 days earlier?
It's on the 27th of May, and then the Indy's on the 30th.
Oh yeah, there's 3 days. Yeah.
So you'd think that if they wanted to like encourage drivers to go from one to the other, to not have them so close together.
I had this in my script for last race, but I didn't tell you. But basically, the reason the Indy 500 is on the calendar is because when they sort of people were organizing the World Championship, the general manager of the Indianapolis Speedway pushed hard for the Indy to be included to be sort of like because there was no United States Grand Prix, so it was like, oh, the Indy 500 can be the US Grand Prix, sort of. But so he pushed hard for it to happen. But
You got 2 races in 3 days, but then you have a nice break until the 17th of
it's nice.
June.
I mean, there's probably
Yeah.
non-championship events, but
Oh, there's a lot of them, yeah.
The picture you see in chat is the winning car. I mean, quite similar to F1. I mean, a bigger bottom.
yeah, it's got that. What's the name? What's the brand of the car?
Curtis Craft Roadster. Offenhauser 4-cylinder. That's the engine. The name is Curtis Craft
I don't know
Roadster.
what's worse, taking these cars around a 2-mile oval, a 2.5-mile oval, or taking the Formula One cars around forested roads. You know, I don't know which one is
I think the driving your F1 car in the middle of a fucking forest.
might be worse. Yeah, I don't know, but it's both not good. You know.
I mean, I think it's probably much worse to just sort of have to be in Bern for like an hour and a half.
Let me finish the Indianapolis 500. Right. This was Lee Wallard's Cinderella Man win, which, as previously mentioned, counted towards the F1 Championship points table.
Why Cinderella Man?
Well, he just wasn't expected to win. He just
Right, I see.
But unfortunately, tragedy followed a week later. Can you guess what happened to
I
him?
don't know. He probably shat his pants or something.
He was severely burned in a crash that effectively ended his racing career.
Ah, shit. That's not funny, is it?
No,
Jesus.
it's not. Well, Rip Lee Wallard.
He's not
His
dead, is
rain.
he just got a bad burn.
Wait,
Well,
he's
he's
dead
dead,
now.
man.
Oh, yeah, he's dead now, yeah, but you know, not in 1951.
Is he dead? That's
he is dead. He is dead.
he died in 1963.
He's long
been
gone.
dead.
He's long gone.
His winning car was, as you can see in the chat, Curtis Craft Roadster, powered by the dominant Offenhauser 4-cylinder. Many European entrants theoretically could have gone to Indy, but yeah, logistic costs meant no one tried to. They didn't care. They had other things going on in their life, I guess.
Oh, I have good news for you boys for next season. But...
Is someone shows up for the?
Oh, no spoilers, but.
So temporarily, Lee Wallard is at the top of the table with Fangio on 9 points.
Yeah, this happened last season as well, where sort of one of the Americans was sort of like tied for first.
It doesn't hurt to believe, does it, Arthur?
I believe Lee Wallard is in contention for the championship. I think he could do great stuff.
I'm putting my money on it. You know what? I'm putting my house on Lee Wallard winning the World Championship.
Hey, making up.
He's currently matching that fraud Fangio. He's not all that. Lee Wallard's on par and points with him.
And making up 20 positions in one race, in the championship, that's not nothing to scoff at, It's
brothers cooking.
Right.
Where was Fangio? Nowhere to be seen. Snapped ankle.
Yeah, he didn't have the balls to show up against Lee Wallard. Belgian Grand Prix, Spa-Francorchamps.
Third race.
Third race? Oh, yes. The infamous third layout. They should bring this layout back.
No, I really don't think they should. I really don't think they should,
The memes that could come out of this. Spa's brutal high-speed layout with its terrifying 14-kilometer pre-war road course and average lap speeds of over 200 kilometers produced a Farina masterclass. Fangio had experimental concave wheels to clear brake drums, so just imagine the metal linings of the thing like going inwards, like you like the Kurt Roadster. You see, it goes inwards instead of like outwards, like a shield on the wheel.
Right. I see.
But they jammed during a stop and produced a huge delay and wrecked Fangio's result. He did, however, still bag the fastest lap point later on worn tires. This was one of the few times Fangio finished outside the top 4 in a race he completed. Even in misfortune, he often scored. So the winner, Nino Farina. And after the Belgian GP, Farina went up to 15, Fangio on 10 after that unfortunate pit delay.
Farina's up to 12 points.
Well, math was never my strong suit.
Well, what I must say I found very funny about this race is that in the qualifying session, the first 6 cars are, Alfa Romeos and Ferraris, and then the last 7 cars are just all Talbot Lagos.
Not
And
many people could afford to enter.
and the fastest Talbot Lago was 20 seconds off pole, which is it's not great. It's not great, I must
At
say.
least, at least you get to participate in an F1 race, I guess.
Yeah, well,
I'd like to also say Johnny Jazzman
Mhm.
Clay finished ahead of Juan Manuel Fangio. 7th place, Johnny Jazzman Clay. 9th place, Juan Manuel Fangio.
Clay's lapping,
I think we know how this will affect the ranking.
and Clay's lapping Fangio as well. That's a.
Well,
I think we might have to reconsider our rankings here. This is also Luigi Villoresi's first podium.
yeah.
And our boy Louis Rosier in a Talbot Lago once again scoring points.
Despite finishing 2 laps down, but
You take what you can. Moving on to the French Grand Prix, now you guys can be pedantic with the pronunciation here. Reims Gueux.
I probably.
No clue how you say that. Too many vowels and an X at the end. I'd be like, what?
I think it's something similar. Once again, the most boring circuit.
Yeah, just straight and
Yeah. Not far off being just a fucking triangle.
one of the season's oddest and most historic races. The theme here was car swapping. Fangio's car developed ignition trouble, and let me try that again. I'll have to cut this in the edit or keep it in. You can be funny. A series of events led to drivers. This is basically papaya rules. Big choreography led to driver swaps and a shared car victory. Fajali was so furious when he was ordered to swap, he quit on the spot right there and then. Never seen again.
And that's Luigi Fagioli's F1 career done. But this means
Yeah.
that the man, out of races he's finished, he's got a 100% podium rate.
Does it? I'm inclined to believe it. Well, when he finishes.
Indeed, he does have a very, very high podium finish rate. That might be one of the highest ones ever, actually.
He's also, another fun fact, one of the oldest drivers to win a World Championship Grand Prix at, guess how old?
53 or something.
Nice. Did you look at the description?
No, I didn't actually. I don't know. I just pulled the spark. So.
This race, drivers struggled with overheating. Gonzalez, notably in a Ferrari, however, he actually looked threatening, and the pace was catching up, but his gearbox failed. So we're not quite there, but we're getting there. We're heating up. Now, after the French Grand Prix, since my
I've got a quick thing to say as well about my favorite guy,
Go for
Johnny
it.
Clay.
Damn.
He hit a wall.
Nice.
How do you hit walls, man? You got all straight. Also, check the image I sent because I never realized the Talbot Lago, but it just looks like it has a fucking machine gun on it. And
Right, guys, help me with the standings here. So, after French Grand Prix, Fangio, 27 points.
Fangio 15.
What the fuck is going on? Has it converted it to?
Marco, here you go. Click on this, and it goes race by race. It gives you the
This
standing
is
and
what I
updates it.
used. Right. Thank you. Thank you, mystery man, with your future technology. Fangio 15, Farina 14, Ascari 9. Ascari Wallard tied. Villoresi 8, Taruffi 6. Jolie all the way down in 8th with 4. Reg Parnell 3 points, and De Graaf.
Wait, when did Reg Parnell score 3? When did Reg Parnell go up?
I think it must have been.
Yeah.
Oh, this race.
Yeah.
You shut up this race.
Well, Reg Parnell, Rosier, Gonzalez, and Sanesi and Linden all tied 9th, and De Graaf and Reed a shocking 14th.
I must say, Reg Parnell is showing his fraud skills once again because in a Ferrari, he was the last ones to finish of the Ferraris, 4 laps behind Ascari and Gonzalez. It's just.
Well, it is still like a tricky car to drive.
But I got 4 laps. Also, to get back to the thing before, Pacholi does have the highest percentage of podium finishes of drivers that have more than 1 podium finish. Serafini, he at the Italian Grand Prix, he got 2nd and then never raced again. So
right. British Grand Prix. Do you know why this is my favorite Grand Prix of the year?
Why is it your favorite? Go on.
It is Ferrari's first World Championship Grand Prix victory.
Spoilers.
Silverstone, a big turning point in the narrative between the Alfa and the Ferraris. Gonzalez demolished expectations. He put the Ferrari on pole first of all, beating Fangio by 8/10. Absolute fraud, not my goat. The BRM V16s made their long-awaited World Championship debut. They started from the back, and both drivers, Reg Parnell and Walker, suffered burns from cockpit heat.
Damn.
Yeah, so not a great start. Ferrari's fuel-efficient 4.5-liter car with the non Prandelli, these engine names, with Lampredi engines. Fangio and Farina's multiple stops combined with Gonzalez's near-perfect race gave Ferrari its first championship victory. The crowd roared. Enzo Ferrari later said it was the happiest day of his life because his team had finally beat Alfa Romeo outright and convinced many that Ferrari could challenge Alfa for the title.
And a solid lead as well. 51 seconds is nothing to scoff at.
And I want to say as well, this is at this point the first championship race Alfa Romeo have entered and lost.
Yeah. BRM finished 5th and 7th also. Just wanted to mention Parnell and Walker finished several laps down.
Yeah, so big fraud Reg Parnell went from 20th
back of the grid, 5th. Yeah,
which,
what a comeback race.
I feel like it doesn't matter whatever machinery put Parnell in, he'll always somehow finish just inside the points. But it doesn't matter if he's in like a BRM or a Ferrari, he'll just always be there.
I think he's just he's comfortable at the right at the end of the point. So he if he's got top machinery, he'll be a fraud, and if he's got okay machinery, he'll pull out the driver as well.
Yeah, he doesn't seem too bothered with this F1 stuff.
Fangio's still on top with 21, Farina 15, Villoresi 12, Gonzalez jumps up to 11, and Ascari on 9 points. And then we kind of just have everyone else. Reg Parnell 9th. He's got 5 now.
I think the championship hopes for Lee Wallard are starting to wane down a little bit.
Yeah. It's true. He's 12 points behind now, but he can still do it. He's on par with potential fascist Alberto Ascari.
Exactly. Right. 6th race of the season, the German Grand Prix, the Nürburgring. 22 kilometers, 170 plus corners. The Nordschleife was the ultimate test. Ferrari's handling and endurance paid off during this race. They had set up their cars to handle bumps and long climbs better. All those hill climb championships in the 1950s and pre-F1 era paid off, I guess, for all the drivers. Ascari's Ferrari beat Fangio by nearly a minute, which started a late-season charge for the title. Alfa's fuel and mechanical fragilities again hampered them. And the race overall showed that on long, hard circuits, Ferrari's big engines could and would win regularly. There were over 300,000 spectators who went wild for Ascari. This was Germany's first post-war Grand Prix and a sign of Ferrari's growing stature in the sport.
Actually, I have a bit of a fun fact here, because after the war, German drivers weren't allowed to race until 1950. So it's interesting to see that they banned for just a couple of years, and then they were like, "Well, that's enough. Yeah, you're good to come back."
Listen, what happened in the early 40s? Pretty dodgy, but you know what? You want to race your funny little cars? Come along, mate.
Also, I'm glad there is the first 2 retirements of the race were Swiss as well. It's
But wait, you said Ascari beat Fangio by a minute in qualifying?
The race.
Oh, the race.
Yeah, a minute in qualifying would be a bit excessive, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Quali.
Yeah, I missed.
Yeah.
I missed.
Although Clays did qualify a minute and a half behind Ascari, so.
Well, on a circuit as long as the Nürburgring, that could happen. The time just adds up.
It is true, yeah. But
so Fangio on 27, Ascari on 17, Farina on 15, tied with Gonzalez and Villoresi.
I'm trying to look up this one German driver who's shown up, Paul Peach. His Wikipedia is quite short, so fascist ?
He was born in 1911, so he probably did fight in the war. Realistically, was he part of the church? Actually, he got a couple of podiums in with Auto Union. So
yeah, famous Nazi team Auto Union. But who knows? Let's simply not speak of a man. Oh, a guy who's been dead for 13
A
years,
dead man.
and he was aged 100, by the way. It's crazy.
Jesus, that is a lot indeed.
I mean, he couldn't have fought in the war.
He could have, yeah.
No, but I
Well,
mean,
then
like, if you
30.
fought in the war, you like everyone who fights in the war dies at like 57 of horrible health complications. If you live to 100, you must have been one of the guys killed back home.
Maybe, yeah.
So Nazi and coward.
Yes, Arthur, Nazi and a coward. Italian Grand Prix, Monza. Ferrari once again dominated. Ascari and Gonzalez traded the fastest lap multiple times during the race, with Ascari leading the race from start to finish. Fangio and Farina's tires blistered, and once again they had to stop multiple times. Taruffi nearly stole second, but Alfa managed enough reliability to keep him behind. This was a serious blow to Alfa's lead in the championship. Ascari's win tightened the distance. And once again, Alfa's pit work and reliability weren't matching Ferrari's racecraft and strategy. So, after the Italian Grand Prix, Fangio on 27, Ascari on 25, Gonzalez also on 21. He's well, he still has a chance, I guess, if Fangio and Ascari DNF this next one.
Yeah, well, you'd have to account for like because it's 4 best results, so he'd need.
You need to win and fastest lap, probably.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how he'd have to do, but
Hey! Crazy things have happened. Grand Prix de España, Pedralbes, Barcelona. Final round. Pedralbes was considered a fast round-the-houses circuit. Tire choice?
yeah, have you seen the circuit?
I have, yes. I didn't take a...
Wait, James. Oh, I meant James must. I'm sending it now.
I have seen it as well. I have seen it as well. Doesn't look very interesting, but
Oh, it's not a very interesting circuit to look at, but it is very nice in person.
A couple of extra things would be good.
Yeah, well, I don't know what circuit designers had in their head during these times. They weren't very inventive.
It's big straight lines by the look of it,
Yeah.
and turns.
Maybe because, well, I think because maybe the cars weren't that great at handling yet, and it was just more about seeing a car, absolutely jet it down the straight.
I think this was in the city. That's the thing. Yeah, it was just in the city, so you kind of are determined by the.
Oh, another street circuit.
Yeah, you kind of determined by the streets.
So the deciding factor for the championship was literally tires. Ferrari decided to run smaller diameter 16-inch rear wheels to reduce the load on the gearbox, which they hoped would help them avoid tire changes. But on the hot fast circuit of Pedralbes, those tires lost tread really quickly. Ascari, Taruffi, Villoresi, and even Gonzalez all suffered tread failures, and they were forced to stop. Alfa ran bigger 18-inch rubber that ran cooler and survived. Fangio won comfortably and took the championship. Alfa then announced it would withdraw from World Championship racing due to financial difficulties, making the 1951 season an end of a very short era.
Oh no! What's going to happen in the 1952 season? I wonder what's going to happen.
Well, guess we'll...
One of the biggest teams is dropping out. Oh, just going to have no way. The implications of this are big.
Final standings: Fangio 31, Ascari 25, Gonzalez 24, Farina 19, and then you have the rest. Lee Wallard with his 9 points still finished 7th, ahead of fraud Reg Parnell and quitter Fagioli.
Also, I got to say, reigning world champion Giuseppe Farina didn't do great this season. Only got one win.
Yeah, he didn't do great, but you got ups and downs. Maybe he'll win next year.
Mayhaps. Who knows? We don't, certainly.
Right. Recap of best moments. We've got 53-year-old Fagioli rage quitting at Rems. He still remains the oldest Grand Prix winner in World Championship history. Well, so far it's only been 2 years of F1.
But I think that's a valid reason to quit the sport. If you're told to give the car to your teammate, I would be pretty angry as well. I would not be happy about it.
Yeah, but in those times, if you go the racing route,
brother, you'd be happy with the Somali F5.
Yeah, if I was a Somali F5 driver, insert just a footage of Project X. Gonzalez, Silverstone legend. Jose Froilan Gonzalez will forever be immortalized in the history books for giving Ferrari its first proper F1 victory. The race is often cited as the moment Ferrari became a genuine threat. And also, I did forget there was a quote. Yes, a Ferrari. I think from Enzo. A Ferrari win at Silverstone was more than a result. It was the start of a tectonic shift. Now, don't quote me on that. I did find that in one of the magazines, but we will never know who said it. Maybe just some British journalist that was a Ferrari meat rider.
I'd also like to point out Johnny Clays showed up to every single event this season except for the Indy 500, scoring no points.
Yeah, he's not in
Again.
the championship table, is he?
Louis Chiron as well, no points this season.
Oh yeah. Well, you got Louis Rosier.
Where's Louis Rosier? in this?
He's 12th with 3 points.
First Swiss scorer, followed the Graf and Reed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you didn't mention this actually, and I'm quite disappointed by you, Marco, because he's your special little pookie bear. But Prince Bira showed up for the Spanish Grand Prix.
He did, but he didn't do anything noteworthy. Just kind of, just
Most of these guys did it.
He showed up, brother. He showed up. He messed up with one lap.
yeah. All right, final two recaps. You had the BRM V16, a point of engineering brilliance and national pride. However, it did come with its downsides: unbearable cockpit heat, overheating, and mechanical fragility. But for its time, the V16 project was somewhat of a breakthrough in the racing world. And then you have Indy's place in F1 history. The Indy 500 counted towards the World Championship. Lee Wallard's win is probably the most amazing moment of his career. An odd cross-Atlantic quirk of that racing era. Tactics and tech takeaways. Supercharged versus normally aspirated. This season was a tactical test between Alfa's high rev supercharged power, fast but thirsty, and Ferrari's larger capacity engines, slower peak power but better range. Pit strategy and tire choice decided several Grand Prix. Less standardized tire choice, and wheel diameter could swing a race, as we saw in Pedralbes, where Ferrari opted for the small wheels and got fucked. He's made mechanical compromises all the time to suit a specific circuit, sometimes to their regret. And finally, shared cars and point splitting. Once again, we see driver swapping still I guess, a tactical measure, and sometimes it would produce some oddities and rage quits in this season. And okay, so we are going through. Well,
we're ranking the drivers for this season. So, James, take the lead on this.
I think Fangio definitely put a more impressive performance this year compared to last year. Yeah, 3 pole positions at DNF, which was reliability issue, so not really his fault. Well, he didn't do too great in the Belgian Grand Prix, but that was because he had the sort of experimental brake ducts. So it's definitely a very, very solid performance.
Well, that's also, he clears Ascari, who by the second half of the season basically was in a faster car, by 9 points, which is a whole race. It's a whole race win and fastest lap, but really.
If you count the total points, yeah. But yeah, I think this season's a bit better because the cars were more evenly matched. The Alfa.
I'm not sure they were evenly matched. I think Ferrari was better.
Well, the Alfa was better. Alfa was a bit was better in the first half, and then the Ferrari figured out that you don't need to put a V34 in the car to make it work. So I think probably Ferrari had a car for a bit longer, but once Ascari is still an incredible performance. 4 podiums, 2 wins.
Fangio gets good this season because he clinched it in a slower car in the second half. I'd say
it wasn't slower. It wasn't slow. It was just different philosophy.
Well, I mean, I guess that wouldn't on qualifying wasn't.
It wasn't technically slower. It was just less efficient.
It was less fuel efficient, but
in the second half of the season, Ascari and Gonzalez in Ferraris got 3 out of 4 pole positions. Fangio scored only 1 at the Italian Grand Prix.
All right, all right.
I don't know, unless you think I'm sort of underselling the Alpha. It felt like at this point it was a sort of it wasn't necessarily slower, but with the pit stops and its fuel and consumption, it seemed to be slower in qualifying, and in the race it sort of had to pit a lot more.
Yeah, I don't understand how Farina ended up with so few
Arena,
points. He's
yeah,
like
very
to have a
disappointing
decent
season.
season.
It's
Yeah, he's well behind his teammate this time. I got to say, he
Oh, whoa, well behind.
15 points in the sort of total scoring. We're not audience. We're ignoring the 4 best rule for this ranking because we don't think it's a good rule.
It could be worse.
I don't know if you mentioned this in the Swiss Grand Prix, but Sterling Moss, who won a couple of F2 races last year, made his debut in the Swiss Grand Prix, and
Wait, Moss debuted at the Swiss Grand Prix this year?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, he was pretty disappointing. P8, like, not very good. I'm not sure much is gonna come of him.
Wait, how we missed this?
I feel like I mentioned it.
Did you? Maybe we didn't listen to you.
Hold on, VAR.
Well, only I will be able to do VAR when we sort of go through the edit.
I mean, you don't mention him in your script, so
Oops.
this guy, I'm not sure is gonna be very, very good.
Yeah, I didn't mention him because I don't think he'll pan out.
Yeah, it won't pan out.
Right, boys, let's lock into the ranking. All right, let's quick fire our top 3 then, just to get us rolling. I'd say it's Fangio, then it's Ascari. I'm gonna go boring. I'm gonna go championship standings. It's Fangio, Ascari, Gonzalez for me.
No, yeah, I think championship standing for me as well. Farina a bit nowhere.
I think I am also gonna go very boring. I'm gonna go championship standings. Maybe put Gonzalez above Ascari.
Yeah,
he made history this season.
it's true. He got the first win, and I mean he scored only 1 point less. It's true. They're quite tight. How was their qualifying form throughout the season comparatively?
Qualifying form. Let's God, sorry to the viewers. I am currently a bit sick.
I'm sick of you.
Fangio 4, Ascari 2, Gonzalez and Farina 1.
I'd like to update my ranking. Actually, I'm putting Gonzalez ahead because he attended one less event compared to Ascari and still scored only 1 point less.
Mhm.
So from the French Grand Prix onwards, Gonzalez was on the podium every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd take that deal.
I'd take that deal.
I'd take that deal.
Well, is Villoresi above Farina? What was Villoresi driving this season?
Ferrari, probably.
He was in a Ferrari.
Yeah, he got podiums and points at every. But Farina got a win. So do we give it to Farina? Is Farina ranked 4th then?
Well, Villoresi had decent, he was consistent. He had a good point scoring races. But
We're putting Farina 4th because he got 1 win. He got 1 win compared to Villoresi.
A win is a win.
He got 3 P3s as well, I guess. But
I think he's a bit more consistent with his results, but
you think Villoresi above then?
I don't know why they retired more than anything, but yeah, I think
So should we just go Giuseppe Farina 1 win and then it's and then Villoresi 5th place then?
or maybe even Taruffi above Villoresi because like 2 less races, high finishing position in the race at the Data 10, so
Wait, Taruffi higher than Villoresi?
yeah, maybe.
I don't know because he got a 2nd when Villoresi retired. Villoresi got a 3rd.
And then he wasn't there for 2 of the races, so
He wasn't there for a couple, and then he got 2 5th places, and Villoresi got 2 4th places. So it feels like that when they actually raced 1-on-1, Taruffi was behind.
nah, just throwing my hat in there, but
Marco, what do you think?
No, I agree with you, gentlemen.
We said different things.
bitch ass would say different things. What the fuck you mean I agree with you? This kid, bruh.
I agree with both points. I can't decide.
Well, vote one. Where the rankings, Villoresi's 5th. Who goes 6th place? Is it Taruffi or does Villoresi shuffle down?
No. Villoresi doesn't shuffle down. I would keep it as it is. I would just keep my original ranking. Well, not the original one, but move Gonzalez up 1, and then the rest is fine.
Then I guess Piero Taruffi gets a noble P6.
Fuck it. Move Lee Wallet up to 1st.
Leave one championship go.
Then who else? Louis Rossi scored points once, but he got so out of 8 races, he didn't attend the Indy 500. So out of the 9 he did, he retired once and was in the top 10 every other time.
I might put him above Felice Bonetto, really.
I agree with this.
And like Bonetto's only podium came because of a shared drive, so
It's been approved, James. He moves up to 7th.
that's
What?
my go.
Well,
Outrageous.
point finishers, mate. Then can we rank Johnny Clay though as like last place?
Dead last year, Johnny Clay, despite the fact
Oh,
he attended
Johnny
all
Clay did last.
races.
Marco, would you like to read who's the GOAT ranking as of 1951?
As of 1951, here is your ranking. Number 1, Juan Manuel Fangio. Number 2, Giuseppe Farina. Number 3, Jose Froilán González. Number 4, Alberto Ascari. Number 5, Luigi Fagioli. And should I do the rest as well?
No, I think top five's good.
And Johnny Clay's in last place.
Johnny Clay's last place.
Glad he's included.
Do you want to do honorable mentions?
Well, honorable mention, I guess Lee Wallard. You know, I think
Oh,
he's the
you're
only-
doing my thing where I said honorable mention the guy who won the Indy 500.
It's a pretty easy honorable mention to give. I don't blame him.
Well, no one else deserves one. I don't know, Sterling Moss for his debut.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
Well, no,
unimpressive.
I'm sorry, you said Lee Wallard. It's too late.
Pretty.
That's your
Well,
honorable mention.
until we reach 1960, the honorable mention is just going to be the winner of the Indy 500.
Every time one of us, the host is basically like, I don't fucking know. The guy who won the Indy 500, and everyone's going, yeah, I guess, good shout.
Yeah, it's a good shout,
Good show.
James, what's your honorable mention?
I might go with our mate the Baron. First point.
Oh, you've got my honorable
First Swiss
mention.
point finisher. Nothing to scoff at in not very good machinery either. So, I think it might be him. That's my shout for the.
Okay.
Are we allowed to do repeat?
No, fuck you, bro. You're not allowed to do shit.
Honorable mention.
Well, actually, I'm like he wasn't
Right,
he wasn't Alpha. I'm like he wasn't good machinery. So
yeah. I guess my honorable mention then will be to Paul Piet, first German
Who
driver
the fuck is that kid,
post-war.
bro?
And this honorable mention is conditional. I'd like to put an asterisk. So unless we find out he's a Nazi, that's my honorable mention for being the first German.
driver.
Only 6 years after the end of World War II, the FIA was like, "Oh, come on, you know what? You've been putting time out.
You've been
mate.
a good lad. You've been a good bloke. You can go back to racing, guys.
Come on. We've all made mistakes. Come on, lad. Come on, get in there. You're a good lad. You're a good boy. Just go and do it again." And biggest fraud?
Biggest fraud for me.
I think it's Alfa Romeo. For somehow, just going bankrupt and quitting.
Well, it's not their fault. They just didn't receive funding.
Well, imagine having to rely on the Italian government to run a race team. That's a bit.
Yeah, exactly. I think biggest fraud is, I think you've reinforced here, it's Alfa Romeo for relying on the Italian government.
Hard.
Thinking the Italian government could be helpful.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go with biggest frauds. The French Grand Prix for being a boring fucking track.
Yeah, fair enough.
And big cheese. Do you have a biggest fraud for the season?
Honestly, fucking Fagioli for rage quitting. What a pussy. Yeah, just like grow up,
man.
dude.
You're a grown ass man complaining you have to share your toys. Like, come on, man. That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing, actually.
Embarrassing.
Oh, my mum said I have to share my toys. I don't want to. I'm done playing this game. I don't want to anymore. I'm working for joy.
I'm sure that's exactly what it sounded like.
Marco, would you see us out then? Oh, actually, no, sorry. I've forgotten a key section of the episode. It's the email section. So, dear listeners, you can send an email at whosthegopod@gmail.com to let us know what you think. Give us your ranking of the drivers. So for this week, we got quite a few nice messages. So thanks everyone for sending those. But there's one opinion piece, let's say, in particular I wanted to read out. So, hey mates, just listen to the pod. Interesting stuff. Although I think Fangio got scammed out of his GOAT title. As a non-European competitor, he still managed to get 2 hat tricks and first places in all the races he finished. Also, the engine failures he had just don't sit right with me. He was the only one of the Fagioli Farina Fangio trio to not finish because of an engine failure twice. Signed, Matteo. Good take, good opinion. I hope this episode we've amended things by ranking him not only first for this season but overall first. Yeah, that's the email. So thanks everyone for your emails. Marco, why don't you see us out?
You've just heard the 1951 F1 season. A season in which brute horsepower met smarter strategy, in which pit stops and tires wrote the scripts that raw speed could not. Fangio lifted his first championship, and Ferrari tasted true Grand Prix success for the first time. DRM roared, even if it didn't win yet. If you've enjoyed this, next week we'll take the story through the dramatic 1952 season, when rules and reliability pushed Ferrari even further into the spotlight. Hosted by your very own James.
I cannot wait for next episode. It is so good. I'm so excited.
Well, thanks everyone for listening. Goodbye.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Back off!